Up next, we have a very, very talented storyteller that I am very, very excited to announce. This is his first time performing with Storyteller Sundays. He is a fantastic comedian. Hosts a podcast called the New OG podcast, New OGs podcast. So I want everybody to give a big, big welcome to our next performer, Xavier Lamont.
Cool. I'm gonna have a little fun, but first of all, I want to say, Megan, I'm terrified to see
Thank
what they're gonna ask you to do in the comments list. But uh, I'm gonna share a quick story. Father's Day was a week ago. I'm a father of one 15-year-old son. He is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and it's gonna be a story about him being born. But I'll tell you about who he is now, just to kind of give you a vibe of what we're dealing with. He's 15, and even though he's 15 and most people have a little issue with teenagers, me and my son are actually still very close. He still gives me big hugs, even in public. He still calls me daddy sometimes. He even likes to jump on my back because I'm a big, huge guy. I'm 6'7", very big. He likes to jump on my back because I'm a human jungle gym to him, which is cool and I love because that's my baby boy. But he's also 6'5", 250 pounds. So if you don't know us, that's just another dude. That's just another guy hanging out. People think we just look like a really affectionate couple. Those two giant black guys, man, they really love each other. It's beautiful. um, he's 15. He's 6'5", about 250. He's built like a massive athlete, and that completely makes sense because I am a former athlete. His mother was also a former athlete. I played college football and basketball, and I played a little bit of professional basketball overseas. And his mother was a track star in college and made it to the Olympic trials as a sprinter. I don't say that to brag. I'm just saying, like, you know, genetic gold mine for the kid. He's going to be a big giant athlete, and that was the only reason why we had a kid to begin with. I wanted to have a giant Shaq baby, like just a big kid that could just dominate everybody's gym class and terrify all the other kids, so I can get a number one draft pick. That's what I was shooting for. That's why I had a kid with another athlete, and we failed miserably at that because even though he's 6'5", 250 pounds, and 15 years old, he is a science nerd. He builds robots. He doesn't like sports that much, so um, somehow we missed on that. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say because, like, oh yeah, you got a science nerd that builds robots, but I was shooting for first round draft pick, not gonna create artificial intelligence. That's not as cool. I don't get to go hang out and parties with P Diddy and Jay Z if he does that. So anyway, I'm just kidding. But anyway, um, he he's a great kid. He's an awesome kid. He is 100% not uh, the kid I signed up for. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be like being a dad, and it's been better, but it's been really strange. For instance, he his voice is deeper than mine somehow, and that is incredibly emasculating for a dad. Like his voice is so deep. At one time, I was going to like yell at him for not cleaning his room, and I go, "Hey, boy, get in here!" And he goes, "What?" And I shook like, nothing. Don't worry about it. And I cleaned the room. Like it made me nervous. But he uh, he's actually a gentle giant and a very nice kid, but he's smarter than me, and that I'm getting a little bit sidetracked. But I'll get to the point. From the moment that he was born, I should have known that he wasn't going to be the kid that I thought I was going to have or that I was quote unquote planning. Um, and the reason why I say that is that when he was born, when he came out of his mother, he was white, um, like white, like could go somewhere with Megan and nobody would think anything about it white. and, and I didn't mention the race of his mother earlier, but I told you that she almost made the Olympic track team, and I assume that you've seen the U.S. Olympic track team before. If it was a white lady, you'd already know who the story. You already know the story. You'd already know who she was. She'd be the most famous white woman in America, the fastest white bitch ever. But anyway, um, anyway, his mother's not only black, she's the exact same complexion as me. We are literally the same color. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, when my first and only son was born, and the doctors handed me, we're in the operating room, and he literally takes my son, cuts the cord, and hands him to me, and it's white. He handed him to me with like way too much confidence. He just said, like, "Hey, here you go, white baby." And my initial response was, he's not done. I don't know how this works. This is my first one, but I'm pretty sure we ordered a brown one. Do you have like a rotisserie, or how does this work? There's something you put him in to get him like the right color. Like, he's not finished. I didn't actually say that. Um, I froze because becoming a father is a overwhelming thing, and even though the kid was white, I looked down at this little white baby, and I thought, I'll be honest, I'm gonna tell you guys something really quick. I'll be honest, my first thoughts weren't pure. My first thoughts were, I got to kill everybody in the operating room. This is the whole. She cheated on me with a white guy. I'm a black guy. Well, that can never happen. But I didn't do that. I didn't do that because when I looked down at this little white baby, he looked just like he looked exactly like me. Like he looked like every baby picture I'd ever seen of myself if I was white. It was incredible. Uh, and the most incredible moment, probably the most incredible moment of my life at that time was is that he looked up at me and he was like, if you ever held a newborn, especially a new newborn, they're getting acclimated to the climate in the room. They squirm a lot. And he opened his eyes and he looked at me and it was like a calm just came over him. Like he was like, oh, it's dad. Okay. And I saw that and I was like, wow. I mean, I still got a DNA test. I'm not a moron. He was white. Uh, like, I'm just going to go home with a white baby like that's okay and not ask any questions. But it turns out I was freaking out before I even got the DNA test. I was freaking out in the nursery a little bit because he looked just like me, and he was a big baby, like I would expect, because I was a big baby, and but he's white. And I called my mom at like 3 o'clock in the morning to tell her she's a grandmother for the first time, and she, in like while I'm talking to her, she goes, "Baby, baby, what's wrong? I can hear something's wrong. It's something in your voice telling me it's a problem." My mother doesn't sound like that at all. I'm totally shitting on her voice just to make the story funny. But she said, "Baby, what's wrong? You're scaring me. What's wrong? Is something wrong with the baby?" And I said, "Mom, nothing. The baby's healthy. The mom's healthy. Everybody's fine. Uh, he's white, Mom. He's white. That's what I'm freaking out about. The baby. He looks just like me, but he's white." And my mom said something that shocked me in that moment. I still can't believe. She said, "Oh, is that all? What do you mean, is that all? Is that all? How bad do you want to be a grandma?" And she goes, "Ah, calm down. Sometimes we come out like that. You got to look at his ears. That's his real color." And I don't know how I hadn't noticed this. Or also, I don't know how I never knew this. But yeah, after she told me that, I immediately looked at his ears, and his ears were significantly darker than the rest of him. So much so, he looked like a damn panda bear. I don't know how I didn't see this before, but and she was right. He's 15 now. He's browned out nicely. He actually, like, within a couple weeks, he looked like a black kid. It was only like the first week when we brought him home that was a little bit awkward for us all. And uh, that was my son being born as a white baby. That should have been my clue that he was going to be somebody different than what I expected. The last thing that happened at the hospital that night when he was born, before he left, was a nurse. Two nurses were talking near us after I got home. My mom, I kept hearing them say something about how big he was, and my son was born. He was just like 11 pounds, a little over 11 pounds, but 23 and a half inches. And I knew 11 pounds was big. I'm sure some people out there are gasping at 11 pounds. Ladies, relax with C-section. But the thing that the nurses were whispering about was that he was that he was 10 pounds. Like, not that he was 10 pounds, it's that he was 23 inches. She said 23 and a half inches. They kept whispering, I can't believe that baby, that's a newborn. That kid's like an hour old and he's 23 and a half inches, is what they were whispering. And I'm a new dad. I did know that black people come out white. And if you knew that and you're watching this at home, bravo to you. Uh, and if you knew that and you're watching this at home, please start a goddamn blog. Start telling people, because it's weird that I didn't know that. I was almost 30 when my kid was born, and I'd never heard that before in my life. I was completely shocked. But I also, they were whispering 23 and a half inches. So I'm curious. I'm learning new things like, hey, ladies, I don't mean to be rude, but 23 and a half inches, is that odd? Is that, I don't know how long babies are supposed to be. And a nurse in the nursery at 3 o'clock in the morning turned to me and screamed, he's 2 feet tall, mister. That kid is 2 feet tall right now. And that was the beginning of my kid, my special son's life. That's my Father's Day story about my kid, and I hope it made you laugh. This is my first time doing this, so if it didn't really connect all the way through, I'm trying out some new stuff. I hope it was fun. I'm Xavier Lamont. I host the New OGs every Friday at 4 p.m. ish on People Comedy Network. You can check us out on Facebook Live, YouTube, or Twitch. Megan, thanks a lot. Oh, also XL Comedy at Twitter if you want to holler at me. Thanks a lot, guys.